Along the Delaware River, Red Bank Battlefield Park appears tranquil. The wind stirs the tall grass and the river's call echoes faintly. Today it's a place for peaceful walks and reflection. But beneath this calm, the ground conceals a violent past. Old trees have watched centuries pass, and secrets remain buried. On a cold autumn day in 1777, the fate of Philadelphia was decided here. The land remembers thunder of cannons, cries of the wounded, hurried burials. Visitors may sense a chill, an echo of history waiting to be heard. The ground remembers the men who died far from home. This park is a living archive, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. In summer 2022, Red Bank's silence was broken. Archaeologists, guided by ground-penetrating radar, searched for a lost trench. They hoped to map the fort's defences, not expecting what they'd find. The radar revealed an anomaly, a disturbance in the soil. Careful excavation began, each layer removed with precision. Then bone emerged from the earth, human bone. The trench was not just a defensive feature, it was a mass grave. The remains of Hessian soldiers hurriedly buried lay tangled together. This rare Revolutionary War mass grave stunned historians. Most fallen soldiers vanished into unmarked graves, lost to time and development. Here the past was tangible, a direct link to the brutal reality of battle. These were not just names in a book, these were the men themselves. Their bones told of violence and haste, forgotten for 245 years. The Americans after the battle had to bury the enemy quickly to prevent disease. The trench became a tomb for those who tried to breach it. The discovery was haunting, a demand from the earth to remember the forgotten. Red Bank was no longer just a peaceful park. It was a site of profound human connection. The field's secret was finally revealed. The past had come alive. To grasp the discovery's significance, return to autumn 1777. The British had captured Philadelphia, but needed the Delaware River to supply their troops. Two small forts blocked their way, Fort Mifflin and Fort Mercer. Fort Mercer, on this ground, was a simple earthwork, manned by 400 Rhode Islanders under Colonel Christopher Greene. Outnumbered and outgunned, they held the key to the river. If the forts held, the British in Philadelphia could be starved out. The defense of Fort Mercer was a pivotal moment, often overlooked in Revolutionary history. It showed that a small, determined force could defy a superior army. The battle here was a testament to clever engineering and raw courage. For a moment, the war's fate balanced on this muddy patch of New Jersey. These soldiers fought not for glory, but for survival and for their nation's future. The stand at Red Bank was a crucial strategic action. Its story deserves to be remembered. On October 22, 1777, the attack began. 2,000 Hessian soldiers, led by Colonel von Donop, marched on Fort Mercer. Confident of victory, von Donop demanded surrender. The Americans refused. The fort's defences, designed by a French engineer, included a deadly trap. The outer wall appeared weak, luring the Hessians in. As they breached it, they were caught in a kill zone between the walls. The Americans unleashed devastating cannon and musket fire. The result was chaos and slaughter. Hessian ranks collapsed in minutes. Over 400 Hessians were killed or wounded, including von Donop. The Americans suffered only a handful of casualties. The surviving Hessians retreated, leaving their dead behind. The ground outside the fort was soaked in blood. The Battle of Red Bank was a stunning, lopsided victory. It was a moment of humiliation for the British and their allies. Despite the victory, Red Bank's story faded from national memory. Soon after, Fort Mifflin fell to the British Navy and Fort Mercer was abandoned. The British gained the river, overshadowing the Americans' tactical brilliance. History focused on Philadelphia's fall and Valley Forge's hardships. Red Bank became a local legend, not a national one. The fallen were Hessians, foreign mercenaries, the enemy. Their humanity was lost in patriotic narratives. Their families in Germany never learned their fate. The field grew silent, the fort dismantled, trenches filled, and the mass grave forgotten. The men buried here became ghosts, their story untold. Their final resting place vanished from memory. The 2022 excavation was a forensic investigation, not just a dig. Each bone and artifact was carefully mapped and recorded. Musket balls, bayonets, and uniform buttons provided direct links to the battle. Personal items, a brass button, a leather strap, were poignant reminders of individual lives. Bioarchaeology revealed the soldiers' ages, injuries, and the violence they endured. The bones testified to the brutality of the assault. Science transformed the past from abstract history to personal experience. Each skeleton represented a life, a family, a story. The archaeologists' respectful work began the process of restoring identity. These forgotten soldiers were finally being given names and stories. The excavation was an act of remembrance. The past was being recovered, one life at a time. The work continued in the lab, combining forensic analysis and historical research. Muster rolls and German archives provided lists of the missing. Isotope and DNA analysis offered clues to the soldiers' origins. Artifacts, like uniform buttons, linked remains to specific regiments. A rare gold coin found with one soldier raised questions about rank or personal fortune. Science and history together revealed these men as individuals, a young conscript, a seasoned veteran. Each set of remains told a unique story of a life cut short. The research transformed faceless casualties into knowable people. Every soldier had a personal history, a story worth telling. The forgotten were becoming real again. The Red Bank mass grave is about more than history. It's about dignity. For 245 years, these men lay in an unmarked grave, buried by their enemies. The excavation, conducted with reverence, was the first step in restoring their humanity. Identifying the soldiers gives them back their names and stories. For descendants, it offers long-awaited closure. The site teaches us that war's toll is universal. The ground holds all alike. Honoring the Hessian dead does not diminish American victory. It deepens our understanding. Red Bank's story is now one of recovery and remembrance. The field's whispers have become voices. The fallen are no longer forgotten. Their dignity is restored. Their stories told. This quiet field is now a place of reconciliation. Every life here is remembered.